This green line shows what the end of the fossil fuels era looks like, a peak and then a decline. But this black line is an alternative scenario and what I believe could very well happen, and is terrible news for anyone worried about the climate crisis. This is new information. It comes from a draft report from a very important group, and I got a leaked copy where I took a look at the new numbers. The agency works with countries and organizations around the world to monitor global energy trends. The report hasn't yet been published, but what the IEA plans to say is that under current policies, and that bit is important, it is under the current policies, oil demand will continue to grow over the next 25 years. And if oil demand continues to increase, so will emissions of carbon dioxide that made the climate crisis worse. But that's exactly the opposite of what people have been saying over the last 5 years. So why the change now? It will be too easy to blame the arrival of the Trump administration and his pro-fossil fuel stance. But the problems started before that. Until recently, the International Energy Agency was predicting that fossil fuel demand will peak around 2029 and then decline. The drop in consumption could be worth trillions of dollars. And policymakers make peak fossil fuel demand the holy grail of the energy debate. For what it's worth, I always suspected that demand will be stronger, particularly for coal. It is also important to remember that the IEA doesn't publish forecasts, but scenarios, and those scenarios make huge assumptions about the world over the next 25 years. Take them more as a guide of what could happen than anything else. Importantly, the IEA will publish other scenarios, probably showing demand falling. On top, the new scenario showing growing demand for fossil fuels made some assumptions that may change. For example, that governments will not take further action. So if history is any guide, this scenario could be off, perhaps by a lot. Let's hope so. If not, the world is heading towards a disastrous climate crisis.